Hi all, welcome to performance testing with Apache JMeter demo session. In this demo session, we are going to cover software testing overview, basic categories under software testing and their differences. What is performance testing and why performance testing is important? What is Apache JMeter tool and how Apache JMeter works in terms of scripting, execution and analysis. Then we will record a simple JMeter script for a simple workflow. Then I will walk you through the topics I'm covering as part of this course. Then we will have a Q&A session. So most of us use software applications in our day-to-day life. For example, if you go to bank, we'll withdrawing money, transferring money, or depositing money, or for applying loan. For everything indirectly, like we are using the software application. If you go to supermarket, at the billing counter, it's nothing but a software application. Okay. Most of us we reserve flight tickets, train tickets, bus tickets booking, cabs booking, ordering food through online apps, placing orders in e-commerce websites, and we use net banking feature provided by different banks. All these are software applications we are using in our day-to-day life. Okay, so to develop any kind of software application, a standard process to be followed, which is called software development lifecycle, which contains various phases like requirements gathering, design, development, testing, deployment, and followed by maintenance. Initially, client is the one who come up with the requirements, and developer is the one who understand the requirement and convert the requirements to the code, which is nothing but a software application. Once software application was developed, they will deploy the code into testing environment. In testing, the tester will perform various testings, uh, and then the code will deploy into production, followed by maintenance. Again, in testing phase, we have a standard process. We'll call it as software testing lifecycle, which involves requirement analysis, test planning, test design, environment setup, test execution, and test closure. Okay. In software development lifecycle, testing is one of the important and critical phase. Basically, testing is a process of validating application whether it is fulfilling the client requirements or not. The main motto of software testing is to identify and eliminate the bugs, security vulnerabilities, and performance bottlenecks. Guys, I'm saying a few terminologies like bugs, security vulnerabilities, and performance bottlenecks. We will see in detail about these terminologies in coming slides or next sessions. Okay. Um, Basically, software testing is categorized into two types: functional testing and non-functional testing. Okay. To understand differences between functional testing and non-functional testing, let's take a simple analogy of lift elevator installed in a multi-store building. So once application um, once application was developed, right, it was deployed into testing environment. So similarly, if you take this example, lift elevator in a multi-store building, after this lift setup is done, it came to the testing phase. So in testing phase, initially we need to perform functional testing. So here we need to check all the functional aspects. Okay, so initially a functional tester enter into the lift and he clicked on close door button. He will check whether the functionality is working or not. After clicking on close door button, ideally the lift door should be closed. Okay, if it is not closing, it's a bug. Okay, after that he clicked on floor number 2. It should take him to floor number 2 and there it should stop. If it is not stopping at floor number 2 and it is taking him to floor number 20, it's a bug, right? So here in functional testing, uh, we will call any issue or error or unknown behavior, we will call it as a bug. Okay, and he will test different a lot of other test cases as well, like he clicked on floor number 20. When lift is traveling from ground floor to 20, suddenly he clicked on open door button. If it is open, it's if when lift is traveling from ground floor to 20th floor, so all of a sudden if they click on open door button and it is open, it's a bug, right? When lift is traveling, it should not open. Okay, so all these are the functional aspects. Once the functional testing of this lift was completed, then performance tester enter into the non-functional tester enter into the picture. So non-functional tester assumes that by default, like when any application or any system comes into non-functional testing, by default the functional testing was completed and then only it will come to non-functional testing. So non-functional tester entered into the lift and he clicked on floor number 2. He won't bother about the functionality because functionality is already working as expected. So he clicked on floor number 2 and he will measure how much time it took to take him to second floor. Okay, after that he will try to pull some 10 members into the lift and again he tests the same functionality. Let's say when he initially tested, right, if it is taking 1 minute to go to second floor, after that he will pull some 10 people into the lift and test the same functionality. Maybe due to the load in the lift, maybe it will take some fraction of seconds more than the first one. Like that he will test with 20 people, like he will vary the load. Similarly he will test for different floors. Like this, a lot of use cases he will test in terms of non-functional. So I hope you guys got some understanding about the difference between the functional and non-functional. Okay, let's take another example. I will take a website Blaze demo. Okay, this is a simple flight booking website. It's a demo website. Here I'm clicking the departure city Boston and destination city as London, and I'm clicking on find flights button. Okay, so after clicking on find flights button, functional tester bother about like whether it is displaying the correct flights or not, based on the source and destination, whether it is displaying the proper flights or not. That is the aspect a functional tester will look. When it comes to non-functional tester, after clicking on find flights, how much time it is taking to navigate to uh, this page. Okay, uh, when non-functional tester test this application, right, he will check with multiple users. Like if let's say when one user is click on find flights, maybe it will navigate to this page in 2 seconds. He will test the same functionality with 1,000 users. It might take 5 seconds. like this, non-functional tester will look into this, and after I'm clicking on choose flights. Similarly, uh, uh, functional tester bother about whether it is navigating to correct page or not, and non-functional tester uh, bother about the how quick it is navigating to this page. Okay, and here we need to give some our details, right? Let me give some details. See guys, this is a demo site, so it is accepting any kind of inputs. So no need to bother about this. But one thing, here I'm giving some confidential information, right? My details and some card number, all this is confidential information. So uh, here all this information should not reveal to any other, or no one need. Here security is also one of the non-functional aspect. So whatever the details I'm entering here, right, it may save in the website somewhere, and all those details are very confidential. So here the security is also one of the non-functional testing type, and all these details should be very confidential. If it was hacked by any other uh, hacker, uh, then security vulnerability will come into picture. Like I say, right, uh, security vulnerability is something related to security testing. In functional testing terminology, any issue or error, unknown behavior, we'll call it as bug. In security testing, in under non-functional testing, any unknown behavior like this, revealing these details, is nothing but a we will call it as a security vulnerability. Okay, and in functional testing terminology, any deviations or any unknown behavior is, we will call it as a bottleneck. Okay, here I'm clicking on purchase flights. So our flight got booked. In the similar way, functional tester validate each and every details, like all the information is correct or not, and when it comes to non-functional tester, how quickly the ticket was booked. When payment is, when payment we are doing the payment, right, it will go to payment gateway site, and it will again redirect to our actual website. So how much time it is taking, all these aspects were taken care by non-functional tester. Okay, this is the difference between the functional and non-functional testing. Okay, let's move to next slide.
Hello.
Yes, please. Who is this?
Yeah, hi, this is Money. Actually, can you explain once again the what is bottleneck? I'm little bit confused.
Okay. Uh, yeah, thanks for your question, Mani. Bottleneck, like initially I told you, right? Bug,
Okay.
security vulnerabilities, and bottleneck. In functional testing terminology, any deviation or unknown behavior, we will call it as a bottleneck. Let's say you are booking a train ticket. Okay.
Okay.
Um, uh, when doing the payment, uh, let's take a simple example. I think you are aware of IRCTC ticket booking, right?
Right, right. Yeah.
You are aware, right? Okay. Uh, I think hope sometime you book the Tatkal ticket. I think definitely.
Yes, yes.
During the Tatkal ticket, the time between 10 to 12 a.m., right? If it is any festival season or any occasions, then uh, if you try to book a IRCTC Tatkal ticket, during the payment, right, it will take lot of time. Sometimes it may money will be deducted and ticket is not booked.
Yeah. Yes.
we'll get some error page, right? So this is not a expected behavior. So this unexpected behavior, we can say it as a bottleneck in performance testing terminology.
Okay.
If
Okay.
response time is very high, let's say uh, if client give the ticket booking transaction as SLA for ticket booking transaction as 5 seconds, and you are when you are booking the ticket, it is taking you something like 15 seconds.
Okay.
It's not reaching the SLA.
Yeah. Okay.
So
In,
this
in,
we
in
will
any
we can
case,
call it as
in any request when it's not tracing to the SLS, then we can consider it as a bottleneck, right?
yes, it is considered as a bottleneck, and we need to identify the root cause, and
Okay.
um, we need to work with dev team and fix that issue. And again, we need to do the retest. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay. So I listed out some basic difference between functional testing and non-functional testing. So as I said earlier, right, when application development was completed, it's before moving to the production, testing to be done. Okay, when it come to testing phase, first we need to do the functional testing, then after we will go to non-functional testing. Okay. Um, Functional testing is nothing but a software testing methodology where we validate the functional aspect of the application and check whether application works as per the customer needs, whether it fulfill the all the specifications mentioned in the requirements, functional requirements. When it comes to non-functional testing, it won't bother about the functional aspects. It purely concentrate on the all non-functional aspects like performance, security, user experience, stability, scalability, all this. Okay. Um, Functional testing can be done both manually as well as with the help of automation tools. Uh, few very good few well-known tools like functional testing tools are like UFT, Selenium. When it comes to non-functional testing, uh, it's we can say it's very difficult to do performance testing with manually. Like definitely we need uh, automation tools to do the non-functional testing. Okay. Unit testing, integration testing, system testing, interface testing, regression testing, user acceptance testing, all these type of testings comes under functional testing. All and performance testing, security testing, reliability testing, documentation testing, all these types comes under non-functional testing. So let's move to next slide. Here we need to discuss about the performance testing. So before telling the definition of performance testing, let me show you uh, a animated image which will give a very better picture. Okay, here I'm taking a simple use case of ticket booking website. It might be flight tickets or train tickets, whatever it may be. Just I'm taking a simple example. Here, there is a person called John. He's trying to check the ticket availability. Okay, there is another person called Vicky. He's trying to perform uh, ticket booking and payment. I mean, so in the ticket booking itself, like we need to do the payment also, right? So at the same time, there is another person called Jack. He's trying to cancel the ticket. Similarly, there is another person called Ken. He's trying to check the ticket status. When ticket was booked, it was in waiting list status, and he's trying to check the status. See, like this, so many number of peoples, like all these are real users: John, Vicky, Jack, and Ken. Okay. like this, sometimes like the user might be 100, 1000, 1 lakh, depends upon the application. It may vary. Um, when multiple users are accessing the feature of applications concurrently, measuring the behavior of the application is known as performance testing. I'm repeating one more time, guys. So when multiple users are accessing multiple features of the application concurrently, measuring the application behavior is known as performance testing. See, let's say John is performing ticket availability use case, right? When he is checking the ticket availability, he might get the response in 2 seconds. If the same functionality is performed by 1000 users, the response time may vary, right? When 1000 users are concurrently doing the same ticket checking availability, uh, the response may be getting delayed, right? Like if one user is checking, it might get in 2 seconds. If 1000 users are checking, then it may give the response in 3 to 4 seconds. Likewise, uh, concurrently, multiple users are accessing multiple functionality of this application concurrently, then measuring the behavior of the system is known as performance testing. See, I mentioned the definition here. Performance testing is a software testing process of measuring the behavior of an application when multiple users are accessing the application. Okay. Here, when it comes to behavior, behavior we can say in different aspects like speed, stability, scalability, resource usage. Speed is nothing but when multiple users are accessing the application, how quickly application is responding. That is nothing but speed. We will measure it in response time. Okay, stability. Uh, when different user loads, we are putting different user loads on the system, how stable is the application? Scalability. So what is the maximum users the application can handle? This is nothing but scalability. And resource utilization. Let's say if 10 users are accessing the application, uh, in the application server, the resources like CPU, memory, heap utilization will be uh, some X. Okay, when 1000 users, the resource utilization may vary, right? Maybe the resource utilization may be 2x or 3x. Like this, like multiple users, like here in our example, like we are having 4 use cases, like ticket checking ticket availability, booking tickets, cancel ticket, and ticket status. If each use case were 1000 users are testing each use case, like it means 4 use case into 1000, like 4000 users are accessing the application, and obviously the server resources will be very high. So this is also one of the aspect we will look into during the performance testing. Okay, so and so here in this image we are seeing, right, John, Vicky, Jack, Ken, all these are real users. Okay, uh, do you guys uh, think like testing 4000 users and measuring the response time and measuring the resource utilization, is it possible manually? Can we achieve this thing? We can't bring 4000 users and uh, test this each use case with thousand users and putting a stopwatch and calculating how fast we are getting the response, whether it is 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and after that testing we need to do manually aggregate the results. We need to do the average of response times. Do you think is it possible? It's highly impossible, right? So in market, to simulate this kind of action, there are a lot of performance testing tools are available. So basically what the performance testing tools will do, it will simulate the virtual users. The only difference between the virtual users and real users is real users physically exist, but when it comes to virtual users, they didn't physically they doesn't physically exist, but those users can perform each and every action performed by the real users with the help of automation tools. Okay, so in market there are a lot of performance testing tools available, and Apache JMeter, Gatling, Grinder, Taurus, K6, Loctus, Tsung, and Artillery. I listed out very few tools here. All these are open source load testing tools. When I'm say open source, we no need to pay a single paisa to the performance load testing tools vendors. It's freely available and we can leverage as per our requirements. Okay. Uh, Similarly, we have a lot of commercial tools also available in market, like LoadRunner, NeoLoad, WebLoad, ArtPT, Load UI, Pro, Load Ninja, Skill Performer, Load Tester, and a lot more are there. I listed very few very famous tools here. So in the name itself, I'm saying the commercial tools, right? To use these tools, definitely we need to pay. Based on the tool, the licensing cost may vary, but honestly, the tool like LoadRunner, it has a lot of inbuilt features, but at the same time, lot of licensing cost involved in maintaining the LoadRunner. Like nowadays, a lot of MNCs are migrating from commercial tools to open source tools, because I think most of you are aware, right? Um, um, as part of cost reductions, they can't bear the licensing cost, and even at the same time, in the open source tools also um, getting a lot of features, and that's the main reason. Like all the big companies are started POCs, and lot of companies already full-fledged implemented the lot of performance testing projects with load testing, open source load testing tools. Um, when it comes to open source, right, to be honest, JMeter is the king when it comes to open source performance testing tools. I can say more than 50% of market was occupied by Apache JMeter in both open source and commercial tools. Even earlier, like all the big companies or MNCs prefer the commercial tools, but from last couple of years, right, uh, most of the companies migrated from commercial tools to open source tools. Why performance testing is crucial? Okay, so let me take simple example here. Let's take a simple example, like there is two good supermarkets, and they have very good network of branches across India, and one is ABC. Just I'm taking a simple example. Really, it's not exist, but let's assume there is a two supermarkets. One is called ABC dot ABC. ABC is one supermarket. There is another supermarket called XYZ. Okay, both supermarkets are very famous in the market, and they have a very good network of branches across India. And both of them plan to enter into the e-commerce world. So both ABC Supermarket and XYZ Supermarket trying to develop applications like abc.com and xyz.com. So both ABC and XYZ Supermarket done with development of this application. Okay, after development, abc.com went to testing phase, and they're done with the functional and non-functional testing, like both automation testing and then followed by performance testing is done, and they deployed this code. Once all the bottlenecks are identified and fixed, they deployed the code into production. Similarly, xyz.com is also, once development was completed, they done with the testing, but xyz.com skipped the performance testing. Okay, and one fine day, there is a very to promote both the websites, both of them in any Diwali season or in Dasara season, they announced a very big sales. So during the sale period, abc.com, whoever using the abc.com, their the user experience is very good. Every user is satisfied with the deals, and at the same time, the application behavior is very good. It is performing well. When it comes to xyz.com, as it skipped the performance testing, right? When users are trying to search for the product like this, the page is loading. It is taking a while to display the products, and sometimes it is throwing a error message like this: please hold tight, so sorry, due to high traffic causing device, if you won't mind, hold, like this kind of error message it is displaying to all the customers. For few customers, somehow they went to payment page, and once payment was done, right, instead of booking order successful message, they are getting payment failed, like don't worry, your money is, if money was debited from your account, it will be refunded automatically in 5 to 6 working days. If any user like purchased the 50,000 worth of products, right, and if it is displaying this payment failure page, that user is very unhappy, right? For few users, it is throwing resource limit is reached. Like this, a lot of error messages it is throwing. I think most of you guys know there is a story, right? In our childhood days, we learned a story between rabbit and tortoise. The moral of the story is slow and steady might help the tortoise to win the race. But when it comes to any web applications, even a single second of delay may cause a loss of revenue to the organization, credibility, and user base. Organization may lose the credibility and user base. Okay. These are the few issues if we skip the performance testing. Always functional testing is as important as functional testing. Once the performance testing is done, functional testing and performance testing is properly done, then only the code should be go to production. Otherwise, this kind of issues we'll see. I hope, like recently, I want to show this experience. Like I only had this experience recently in the last month. We are submitting the IT filings, right? E-filings. During the last 1 week, most of the people are putting a lot of images in Twitter, and they're asking to extend the date. So this kind of error message even I got while doing IT filings. And recently in the Flipkart sale, if you see this, I'm seeing this kind of, we are working hard to fix the technical issues. once the deal was started, right, this kind of page it was displayed for me. So these kind of like these are very few examples, and this kind of things will be happened if we are not like going with proper performance testing. Okay. Let's move to next slide. What is Apache JMeter? Apache JMeter is a open source load testing tool from Apache Software Foundation. It's a desktop based Java application. It can be simulate threads. It's nothing but virtual users on server and group of servers networks, and you can analyze overall performance under different load test types. Um, the main features of JMeter I list out here, like it's a open source. When I say open source, it's a freely available. You don't need to pay any single rupee. Okay, and easy to install. There is no complex installation process for JMeter. It's simply like we need to go to official JMeter website. We need to download the latest version of JMeter zip binaries, zip file, and simply we need to extract the file and open the jmeter.bat file. It will open the JMeter UI. That's it. There is no need of heavy hardware configurations. All these kinds of stuff is not required. It's very simple. We don't need to even install. Just we need to unzip the file and use the JMeter. And it's a platform independent. When I say platform independent, as JMeter is a Java-based application, any platform which support Java, it will support JMeter as well. Like we can use the JMeter in Linux machines, Windows machines, Mac, whatever. Like whatever the platform support Java, it will support JMeter as well. And it will support multi protocols like JMeter support like HTTP, HTTPS, JDBC, LDAP, and other lot of protocols it will support. And also it will support distributed load testing. When I say distributed load testing, if we want to perform any load test with a huge number of users, with a single mission, we can't achieve that target. So we need to implement a master slave concept where load will be pumped from different slaves. JMeter support master slave setup as well. Okay, and we can easily integrate JMeter tool with other tools like Jenkins, Gradle, BlazeMeter, all these tools. It's very easy. And even JMeter has a lot of inbuilt capabilities. With the help of plugins, we can extend the JMeter features as well. There are a lot of plugins available in market. With the help of those plugins, we can take the JMeter to next level. And it support in JMeter, like for results visualization, we have a lot of formats are there. Like we have trees, tables, graphs, lot of visualization forms we have. It's very good visualization tool as well. Okay, before moving to how before seeing how JMeter works, right, let's see a basic understanding of how web application works. Let's take a simple example, like use case. I will launch application, then log into the application and search for the product and just log out. Very simple use case. Okay. Here we have the front end and back end. The front end is nothing but a browser where from we are accessing the application. Okay, and back end is the server. So when we request the when we enter the application URL in the browser and click on enter, it will send a request. Browser will send a request to server. So server process the request and send the response to the browser. Next, I will enter username and password and click on login. So these again the request sent from browser to server with the all log username password details. The server validate the credentials and send back the response. Similarly, when I'm searching for any product, like let's assume like I'm searching for fruits. So the request sent from browser to server, and it will send the response in the form of like what all different kind of fruits available. It will display in the browser. Okay, then I will review all the ratings and the prices, all the stuff, and finally I will click on logout, and again the request sent from browser to server, and response also sent from browser to server to response sent back to server to browser. Okay, this is how the normal web application works. So these simple use case we are performing manually. Okay, so with the help of automation tools like JMeter, I want to automate the same use case. So again, the front end, back end, we have. Okay, so JMeter, when the same workflow I want to record with the JMeter. So guys, currently we are discussing the how JMeter works in terms of scripting. Okay, um, now JMeter act as a proxy in between the browser and the server. So same use case when application launch requests, when we are accessing the application page from browser, initially request sent to the JMeter. So JMeter capture the request and save the request in the form of samplers under recording controller, and same request sent to the server. Okay, so from where the request came to server, it's not from browser, no, it's from JMeter only. Okay, so server process the request and send back the response to JMeter. Here JMeter save the response uh, in the listener, and the same response sent to the browser. Likewise, the login, first it will send to JMeter, and JMeter send the request to server, and server respond back to JMeter, and the same response will push to the browser. Likewise, each and every request and response was captured and saved by the JMeter. So JMeter is acting as a proxy or man in the middle. So entire flow was navigation completed and all the requests and response captured by the JMeter. Okay, so once all this process was completed, a, a script was generated. I will show you clearly in the demo.
Hello, Ganesh.
Yeah, who is this?
I've got a question here. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
disturb. This is Ajay. I got a question here.
yes,
So
yes,
generally, like you said, it was the JMeter would act as a middleman.
yes.
So if I'm doing my in my company's laptop, if I'm doing the performance testing, there would be a lot of things going behind the scenes, isn't it? My teams would be running and my mails would be running, and there'd be a lot of stuff going behind the scene. So will all the protocols get captured in the JMeter?
Good question, Ajay. Yeah, no, we will whatever the flow we are navigating from browser, right? Um, there is a setup to be done in the next coming sessions. I will tell you in detail. We need to set up some settings in JMeter level as well as the browser level. There is a proxy setting,
Hmm.
like we have a dedicated port to be set up, and in browser and JMeter, and whatever the traffic going through browser, it will only capture, not any other
Okay.
confidential information. uh,
Okay. Thank you.
whatever
Thanks.
the use case that we are trying to navigate in the browser, right? Only those details will be captured by JMeter and save in the form of samplers.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you, Ganesh.
Okay. Okay. So JMeter capture all the request and save in the form of thread group. Okay, thread group is nothing but the automated script. In JMeter terminology, we'll call it as a thread group. So here, let's move to the next part, like how JMeter works for test executions. Guys, there are some other tools. I will take a example of load runner. Load runner is having multiple components. It's a commercial tool. Load runner is a commercial tool which is having multiple components. In the sense, for scripting, there is a component called VUgen. For doing execution, there is another component called controller. And for results analysis, there is other component called analysis. But when it comes to JMeter, it's a very beautiful tool. It is capable to uh, do scripting, execution, and analysis as well. It's a single component, like there is no separate components for scripting, execution, and results analysis. All the features are inbuilt, and it's a single. I can say it's a single component who can handle all the stuff, scripting, execution, and analysis. So in the previous slide, we done with the script, right? Once the script was done, we need to plan for some test execution. It's nothing but a load test. So our script is ready, and to do load test, the application which is to be tested, right? It should be up and running, and it should be available. And our JMeter will simulate the virtual users. Is nothing but threads. JMeter simulate multiple threads as per our requirement. If you want to do load test with 100 threads, see guys, threads is nothing but a virtual users. In JMeter terminology, we'll call virtual users as a threads. So JMeter is capable to simulate the virtual users, and all these virtual users concurrently accessing this script. This script is nothing but launching application, login, search the product, and log out. All these activities are performed concurrently by all these virtual users. Let's say if you take the such product use case is testing to be tested with 1,000 users. Okay, all these 1,000 users were simulated by JMeter, and all these 1,000 will access this thread group, and multiple, let's say 1,000 users, right? Multiple requests sent to the server. Then server process each and every request and send back the response to JMeter. Okay, all these responses are captured by JMeter in the form of view results tree aggregate report. Okay, let's say if we run the test for 1 hour, this complete it's a continuous process from starting of the test to ending of the test, like continuously all these virtual users trying to send multiple requests to the server concurrently, and server also process each and every request and send back to the JMeter. So during this process from starting of the test to ending of the test, JMeter save each and every response and details sent by the server. It will capture each and every details. Okay, from starting of the test to ending of the test. And all these details collected by JMeter, again JMeter itself, like it will calculate all the statistical information, like how many past transaction, how many samplers, what is the error rate, what is the average transaction, what is the minimum transaction, what is the max transaction. So 90th percentile, all these statistics were calculated and displayed during the load test. Okay, once the load test was completed, again JMeter is the one who is capable to analyze the result. Like JMeter itself, it can create, like once load test was completed, we'll get a JTL file. JTL file is nothing but the results file. So with the help of that JTL file, if you want a very good visualization in HTML report, again JMeter is the one who is capable to generate the reports. Okay, this is all about the the workflow of JMeter during test execution and analysis. Now let's look into this record a simple JMeter script. So I'm going to, before recording this script, just I would like to show you the flow navigation. This is a simple ticket booking website. Here I'm selecting departure city, Boston, and destination city as London. And I'm clicking on find flights. I'm choosing one flight, and I will do the payment part here. So ticket was booked. So whatever the functionality, whatever the steps I performed manually, right, I want to record these steps using JMeter. I will show you. So this is the JMeter tool, guys. Okay, this is the JMeter tool, how it looks like. I would like to record the same flow using JMeter. All these options we will see in the subsequent sessions, but for now I am recording the script. Okay. Default values. So this is the test plan. It is the default element come with JMeter, and this is the thread group. Thread group is nothing but where we capture all the steps. A recording controller is the one who is responsible to capture all the requests during recording. This is the HTTP test script or test script recorder where we do the proxy settings, and it is the one who is responsible to capture the request from the browser to JMeter. Okay, let me quickly start recording. Click on start recording. Here you will get a pop-up. Just click on OK. So once I started, clicked on start recording, you will get a recorder transaction control. So here, let me give a transaction name. T01 underscore launch application, and I will go to browser. Let me do one thing. I will open a incognizant window for Go. It's a best practice, one of the best practice while recording. Okay, so already I started recording, and just I'm given the transaction name T01 underscore launch application, and I will launch the Blaze demo. Okay, sorry guys, I need to do some setting. So to record any JMeter script, initially we need to set up the proxy settings. Ajay, I think you asked one question, right? So this is the setting we need to do.
Mhm.
In the
And
proxy,
I'm sorry to disturb you again. So this
okay.
port called 8848 is this constant all the time, or do we
No,
have
no,
to
no.
change it all?
No, no, no. We can give any port. The only prerequisite is whatever the port number we are giving here, it should be same as the port number which we need to give. You can give some 8585, any port you can give, which is like which is not using by any other application. So
So what
here
would be
I'm
the
giving.
maximum number of ports? I'm sorry. Yeah, please go ahead.
No, no. The only prerequisite is the same number of port we need to give. Whatever the port number we are giving in the HTTP script recorder global settings, right? The same
Yeah,
port
please.
number we need to give here.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Hello, Ganesh.
Yes. Who is this?
Yeah, how will we, Subhash here?
Hi, Shubhash.
Yeah, how will we know which browser are we recording through JMeter? There are more number of browsers, right?
Yeah, from any browser we can do record, like whatever the settings window you are seeing, right? It was opened from Chrome. Let me open again once. So currently I'm trying to record the script with Chrome.
Yes.
Let me open. Here I will go to settings. This is the Chrome browser settings. Okay. So I want to record the script using Chrome. So I opened the Chrome browser and went to settings. Here I am opening the proxy settings of the Chrome. So here I'm enabling this proxy localhost and www. And I will save. So it will capture the whatever the flow we are navigating in Chrome browser. It will be captured by JMeter. Is your question answered, or do you have any doubt?
Yes, I got it.
If you want to do the same with Edge, then you need to do the same setting in Edge. If you want to record with the Mozilla Firefox, you need to do similar kind of setting in Mozilla Firefox as well. Whatever it may be, if it is Opera Mini, whatever the browser you want to use, there you need to do the settings.
Okay, Ganesh, thanks.
Okay. So proxy settings are done, and in JMeter also I have given this www port. Okay, let me click on start. Okay, already this transaction name is there, so I'm not giving again. See, I don't, you guys observing something was captured under recording controller. When I'm navigating the steps, please concentrate this part. Under recording controller, each and every transaction is getting added. Okay, launch application was done. Then my next transaction will be T02 underscore find flights. Selected Paris to London. Clicked on find flights. See, again here T02 find flights was added under recording controller. Next transaction will be T03 underscore choose flights. I'm choosing this flight. So choose flight transaction also added under recording controller. So the transaction name we need to change to score purchase flights. Just I'm clicking on purchase flights, and the purchase flight transaction got added under this recording controller. So ticket booking is done. Whatever the steps I have followed for this ticket booking was captured by JMeter. Now I need to stop the recording. You can close this browser as well. So sometimes JMeter will capture this kind of sometimes what we'll do, some unknown URLs will be captured by JMeter. Like if you see some msn.com related stuff is captured by JMeter. Anyhow, all these stuffs and best practices I will tell you in the subsequent sessions. We need to remove this unknown request. Okay, see here. This is the launch URL, https://blazemeterdemo.com, and next step, find flights. Here we are seeing from to choosing flight. All these requests were captured by JMeter. Okay, so let me do one thing. This is the thread group. The recording part was completed, right? So now I will just simply run the script. Just I want to show like how the script replay will be. Okay, let me do. I need to do one setting here. Don't worry about the setting. I will tell you in detail. Let me run one more time. See, when I'm replaying the script, right? Whatever the recording I done, the script was successfully replayed. This is the launch application. This is a find flights. This is the choose flights, and a purchase flight successfully we purchased today. This is the ticket booking. Okay, so all these replay in the current replay, right? We are doing with one thread. Let me show you. And if you see here, this is the aggregate results report. If you see here, the launch application transaction response time, find flights, it's in a milliseconds. JMeter display the response times in milliseconds. Choose flights, purchase flights, it's taking 397 seconds. Okay, let me run the same script with multiple users. 5 users. I'm giving ramp up. Okay, I have cleared all the existing ones, and let me run. See, all the transactions are executing for 10 times. As I given 5 users, each user need to do 2 iterations. The results, right? If you see purchase flight here, ticket was booked at 4:49:51, right? If you go somewhere, 4:49:53 seconds, like that. Total in a fraction of seconds, we got 10 bookings. 10 ticket bookings was done. This is how we are automating the manual flows using the JMeter tool. Okay, this is all about script recording and replay. Let's move to next slide.
Ganesh,
Yes, who is this?
before, yeah, this is Ajay again. Before moving
Yeah,
further, I've got a question. The last slide.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, please.
what if there is a login functionality at the initial position? For example, if I have to log into the site and then I have to do something. So when I record the script, will it capture my username and password? And next time when I run it, will it able to put my username and password again?
Yes, it will put your username and password again, but there is but along with username and password, there is something called user session will be created for every login, right? There is a unique session for each login will be created, right? So all those things we need to take care. Your username and password will be JMeter will provide. If you see, let me show you this one. If you see this from port and to port here, Paris and London, whatever the source and destination we selected, right? It is displaying over here. In the similar way,
Yes, yes.
your username will be displayed, and on the password, your password will be displayed. During replay, your username and password will be provided by JMeter.
Okay, okay.
Okay, but there is a session ID will be generated from the server, and those are all different concepts. Like we will call that concept as handling dynamic data, which is called correlation.
Okay, okay.
We will be discussing all those topics in detail in coming sessions. As this is a very first initial demo session, I picked up very
Yeah,
simple workflow. Okay.
sure, sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Ganesh.
And coming to course content. So I divided the course content into different modules. The first module is performance testing overview, where we are going to discuss about what is performance testing. Under what is performance testing, we are covering SDLC, STLC, software testing types, functional testing versus non-functional testing, performance testing, and what are the tools, performance testing importance, types of performance testing, the performance testing terminology, and what are the phases, life cycle, performance testing life cycle phases. Uh, we'll detailedly discuss about each and every phase. And the second module will cover about introducing JMeter, where we are going to see what is JMeter and how we need to download, install, what are the prerequisites, and the directory structure, how to launch in UI mode, non-UI mode, and JMeter terminologies, and what are the important elements in JMeter. And I highlighted very few. Under these elements, there are sub elements as well. All each and every elements we are going to discuss in detail. And the third module we are concentrating on JMeter scripting. An entire course we are mainly focusing on this third module, because this is the heart of entire course. Here we are going to discuss about all the script recording, script enhancements, and here we are going to discuss a lot of elements as well, the JMeter elements. And fourth module is JMeter test execution, how we need to do load test, what are the settings we need to do in JMeter, and again in JMeter UI mode and non-UI mode is there, how to do execution in non-UI mode, or what is the best practices. All this we are going to discuss in fourth module. And module 5 we are going to discuss about the test reporting and analysis. And after that, there are other lot of things we are using, like how to leverage JMeter plugins, means scripting, web services testing in JMeter, distributed load testing, and JMeter best practices, and how can we customize the vanilla JMeter. Like we can with the help of changing some JMeter property files, we can customize the Apache JMeter functionalities. And we are also going to discuss about BlazeMeter as well, where I will show you how to install BlazeMeter extension and how to record JMeter script with Chrome extension, and how to do test execution in BlazeMeter. And these all are the topics we are covering as part of this course. And one more thing I would like to tell, once the session was completed, right, we are having a practice session. Whatever the once initially in the first module, mostly it's a theoretical part. When we enter into the second module, right, the introducing JMeter, there from there onwards, we have practice sessions. Once the class was done, whoever interested can join in practice sessions. And apart from these, Can InfoSystem is doing mock interviews during weekends. Whatever the topics covered in that week, there will be a mock interviews during the weekends. And also we help you guys to some resume preparation, and some tips we can provide, and uh, we'll give some sample resumes and support. Yes. Now open for Q&A.
Ganesh, Ajay here. I have one more question.
Yeah, Gajay.
So actually, I
Let
just want to
me
know if, yeah, please.